Did Prince Harry have any concept that launching his confetti-like blizzard of legal actions was highly likely to put him on a collision course with abject humiliation? The quashing of the phone hacking element destroyed the backbone of hopeful Harry's optimistic claims. Now, and on to another of his collection of lawsuits, and Harry learns that his lawyer's bid to introduce 3 new witnesses to his case against the Daily Mirror Group has been comprehensively rejected. Making it a hat-trick of horror, the Prince has also been instructed that he will not be allowed to deliver personal representations over the decision to deny him the right to pay for special police protection when he visits the UK. Fail. Again. So, what has Harry discovered? Is it that everyone is equal in the eyes of the law, including members of the royal family? Is it that even royals are required to back up their legal actions with a spot of evidence? Now that the Duke of Netflix has engaged with real life, is he realising that for most mere mortals, things are a lot tougher than they are for the palace-dwelling, private jet-travelling, perpetually fawned-upon Windsor clan? If not, why not? And if not, why doesn't someone, for God's sake, have a word? This not strikingly brilliant guy's ludicrous war on the media is excruciating. Harry would surely deny it, but I say this troubled middle-aged royal combatant is marching through dangerous territory he simply does not understand. His lawyers would surely deny it, but barristers and solicitors are not famous for turning down fat fees from well-heeled clients. Doubtless Harry's attorneys have diligently informed him that his legal odyssey was always going to be an uphill struggle, and perhaps small victories lie ahead, perhaps they don't. But what are both of the obsessed Sussexes achieving with all of this? Meghan's no slouch on the legal front either, of course. Does she encourage her hapless husband down these rabbit holes to nowhere? After Harry's less than impressive 7-hour ordeal in the dock in the Mirror action, he is expected to return to the stand in June, when we can only hope he puts on a superior performance than he did the last time. Who can forget Harry's deranged declaration that the Queen and her regal relatives forged a secret pact with the Sun's parent company News Group? And remember the manner in which it was ignominiously jettisoned? With well-disguised contempt, Judge Timothy Fancourt dismissed Harry's improbable story as having, and I quote, not reached the necessary threshold of plausibility and cogency. That is devastating legal language for pile of fantastical nonsense. Come on now, Harry, see sense. For your own sake, just make it stop. I mean, Pete, it's getting ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, this guy, he still does have a case. He's still pursuing his allegations that the Sun and other newspapers used various illegal methods to get stories about him. But the big thing was they hacked my phone. When asked, well, how do you know they hacked your phone? He said, well, they must have done.
I know, it just seems, completely laughable to me. I think he's the very definition these days of present but not involved. I think most of this legal proceeding went straight over his head, and the quote from the judge that you read out there, I think, should be on his tombstone, but failed to reach the levels of plausibility and cogency. I don't understand why this court case was even allowed to even go as far as it has done. It doesn't make any sense to me.
I think we could probably speculate that it's something to do with the fact he's Prince Harry, but he doesn't really seem to live on planet Earth. He lives in a different universe to the rest of us. And when that same judge the Mirror's lawyer said to him, Narinder, you've talked of all these cases, all these stories where you say your phone was hacked. Do you have any evidence that your phone was hacked? And his answer was, no, that's why I'm here.
Well, I mean, no, oh, come on, listen, I've listened to you. I listened to that long monologue, and I've listened a lot of times to you speaking. And actually what you're both saying is absolutely nonsensical. And I think you guys are living on your fantasy world, because actually he's going to have his day in court. He is going to have his day in court. The reason why the other case has gone
is he having his day? What about with the phone hacking?
It too long.
Is he getting his day in the phone?
Because he left it too long.
Miranda, the big allegation is phone hacking. It's been thrown out.
Because he left it too long. Not because there wasn't enough anything, because historically the time has lapsed. But he will have his day in court. And actually,
why did the...
Thank God for Harry, because he's far better person
Right, you're up on
than
all
that
this.
toxic
So
royal family.
why did he take so long to launch the action?
Well, maybe
No, he
just...
did explain.
So, OK, then.
If you've got a good point about it, you should know about the case. What it was that he said, I would have launched it much earlier, except for, unbeknownst to me, the Queen and other senior members of the royal family forged a pact with News UK.
Well, there
with
you
the
go.
news group.
So who says they didn't? So you're... So
The judge!
Everything Harry's saying is a lie. No,
the judge.
No, he's saying...
No, he did
why
say that.
Why are they not
You
allowing
can't
that
say
to
that.
come
He
in
did
public
say
debate?
that.
They're protecting the royal family.
No.
You seem to have this blind allegiance
No.
to a royal
You're not
family
dealing in the
that
facts.
is never
What did the
held
judge say
accountable.
about Harry's
The royal
contention?
family are never held accountable, and there's reasons for that.
Yeah, OK. Look,
Right?
Can we just deal in the facts? What did the judge say about Harry's contention that the Queen and senior members of the royal family forged a secret pact with the news group? I'll tell you what he said. He said it didn't reach the required levels of the threshold of plausibility or cogency. He said it was a pile of rubbish.
The royal family are protected. That's all that is said. You can't take King Charles to court. They're protected by that. The fact is, and you said before as well about Prince Harry that, and how...
You don't seem to know much about this case.
How did they have...
You've got to read about it if you're going to make points.
No, we do know.
You didn't even know that the judge threw it. You didn't.
I did know that.
You didn't. I asked you and you didn't know the answer.
But you didn't come up with actually that. Actually, he will have his day in court.
The judge says...
And the fact is, Prince Harry is doing this for everybody. He's not doing it for himself. Prince Harry is a prince of the people. He is his mother's son.
Who invited her on?
He is his mother's son.
You can't come back. That's absolute rubbish.
And Prince Charles and Camilla aren't in for PR. And Prince William isn't for PR.
They're entirely in for PR.
Once again, Narendra.
They are in bed with the media.
Narendra.
William and Charles and Camilla are in bed with the media.
Rubbish.
And the media are on rock floor. They're in bed. Oh, please.
Once again, who threw out Prince Harry's claim of phone hacking?
It was because it was too long.
No, who threw it out?
It was too long.
Why?
Because times had lapsed.
No.
It was too late.
And why did Harry say the time lapsed?
Because he had his reasons. And the fact is, he's going to have his day in court.
No, it was because of the secret pact that the judge said was a load of rubbish.
He didn't say it was a load of rubbish. They just didn't have enough.
You haven't even read about the damn story.
Yes, we have. Everybody's read about the story.
You've got to read about the story.
You're ignoring the...
You're ignoring the facts.
You're reading the bits you want to read.
This is ridiculous.
Kevin, you're reading the bits you want to read.
Hello, Peter. What's
Peter, you can laugh all you like.
I am laughing because you're living in a fantasy world. Prince
You're
Harry
not
has
taking
not
on
done this
board
for
the
people.
facts.
You're not taking on board the facts as well.
Come
You're
on.
not actually, Kevin.
You don't even know what the judge said.
I did know what he said, but
You didn't.
I did.
OK, what did he say?
God,
What did he
said
say?
it wasn't plausible, bloody, bloody,
No, what did he actually say? I'll tell you what he actually said if you'd like.
AKA.
No. If you know about it, what did the judge say?
Do you really think the judge is going to say,
What did the judge say? No, answer my question.
Do you really think that?
What did the judge say?
You tell me.
He said that Harry's story of his phone being hacked had not reached the required threshold of plausibility and cogency. This is what it means when you know about a story. You're able to quote from it.
No, it's not about historically times. It's the fact that what he was saying was
just
complete
shout
poppycock.
nonsense.
Okay, Kevin,
complete and utter nonsense.
Okay, why is he going to court?
You're just talking
Why
nonsense.
is he going to court then? Why is he going to court?
Well, he did, and the court said we've rejected it.
So he's going to court in January for something.
Yeah, so
Not
that's
for
a
nothing.
different legal matter.
It's still a legal matter.
Yeah, it's a different one.
Still a legal matter. It's
a different one, though.
It doesn't matter. He hasn't lost. He's going to have his day in court. He hasn't lost.
If your case gets kicked out of court, you have by definition lost the case.
No, he
by
hasn't.
the very definition of what's just happened.
Hasn't.
He has.
Prince Harry
Anyway, if you're going to
win.
make these impassioned points,
you can't lie, Kevin.
You've got to bone up on the facts. You've got to know about what happened.
We do
You can't just sit there. Harry's great.
Harry
He's doing
is
it for
great.
the people.
He is.
You've got to have facts. You've got those
That's
facts.
the most fantastical nonsense.
Honestly,
Doing it for the
Narendra,
people.
come on, pull yourself
Kevin,
together.
You know what,
Pull
guys?
yourself
You
together.
know what, guys? You both know that Harry's onto something here. That's a fact.
I do not.
He's onto something here.
He's probably on
and he's
something, not
gonna-
onto something.
He is going to win. Harry is going to
No,
win.
he's not.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
OK, Narinder, thanks very much. Let's move on. I've never had such a load of rubbish in all my life. And if you're going to make these arguments, read the damn stories before you come onto my programme. It would really, really help. We're moving on. Mean tweets. So, it's not actually a tweet, it is actually a mail. See, I told you, old school. It's a nice letter. I love the way these people, they think, once they read this, their lives will be destroyed. And little just
I'm laughing.
We get millions of them. We don't care, you idiots. Now it's time for a real break.
He's mad as hell. It's Kevin O'Sullivan.
Get the bunting up, put the champagne on ice. The penny finally seems to be dropping. Our dear leader has at last figured out the bleeding obvious, and that is that long-suffering Brits do not want to pay through the nose to satisfy the vacuous virtue signalling of halo-polishing politicians who have no idea what the people are really thinking, while eco-crazed Keir Starmer continues to offer the bemused electorate his gormless, greener, fairer future. It has suddenly dawned on Rishi that there's nothing fair about a green future that costs us a fortune. And that, just maybe, not piling hundreds of pounds worth of green levies onto our soaring energy bills, might be popular. Gosh, who knew that leaving people with a few more quid in their pockets might be a bit of a vote winner? Who'd have thought it? But Mr. Sunak's moment of green claptrap clarity doesn't end there. The Prime Minister also appears to have at long last realised that blocking off roads and turning towns into mad matrices of strangulating cycle lanes and all-pervasive pedestrian walk zones is, funnily enough, not the answer to all our dreams. What hopeless half-wit decided it was? So the perceptive PM has called for a review of the hated low-traffic neighbourhood schemes that cause gridlock all over the country while pollution spews into the air from the exhaust pipes of cars trapped in the resultant 24/7 traffic jams. Fine. But how long will this review last? And realistically, will it lead to even a single LTN scheme cancellation? If not, if it's just classic all Rishi talk and no Sunak action, what's the point? Meanwhile, I still can't get my head around why cash-strapped strugglers on the breadline battling to cope with the cost of living crisis aren't demanding higher green levies on their energy bills. Of course they're not. Why on earth did Sunak and the gang ever think they would? So now the postulating Premier screeches a handbrake turn and announces the go-ahead for significantly more drilling for oil and gas in the North Sea. An ostensibly good decision that won't make any sense until he extinguishes Britain's balmy pledge to hit carbon net zero by 2050. What even is carbon net zero? If it's achievable at all, exactly what the hell is it? If you care, which so many of us don't, answers on a postcard, please. To be a green fanatic or not to be, that is the question for simpering Sunak, who, at the insane crossroads he has ridiculously reached, is neither one nor the other. The Prime Minister remains one of the Westminster elites, trying to sell us the lie that rarely sunny, often unwindy Britain can be entirely powered by solar panels and windmills. It can't, end of. And unless he deduces that eco-nuttery is a luxury that only millionaires and comfortably off politicians can afford, he's doomed to suffer serious global boiling at the ballot box. Memo to Rishi. Show some guts if you really want to stand with the hard-up citizens of this great country and genuinely support the poor drivers persecuted by useless ULEZ, corrosive congestion charges and cycle lane lunacy. Hit reverse gear on net zero. Trying to appeal to everyone is a recipe for disastrous defeat. Compromise is for losers. So, for once in your wonderfully wealthy life of extreme privilege, why not please the people who have more pressing issues to worry about than the alleged climate emergency that the UK can do nothing more to solve? And the added bonus to pleasing the majority is it will really tick off the extreme minority we call Just Stop Oil. If that bunch of white middle-class OAPs from Tunbridge Wells are upset, it sure as hell works for me. Does it work for you, Pete?
It works exactly for me, and I don't understand why it's taken the government this long to even come to this conclusion. It is finally the government has actually listened, and I think it's because of the Uxbridge result. It kind of has to be.
The referendum on
It really was, because it's also important to notice it's not just a London issue. Look at Andy Burnham up in Greater Manchester. He's quietly dropped that ULEZ scheme up there, and their congestion charge scheme. You've got it in Bristol, that's been narrowed back, and this absolute nonsense are these LTNs. I live in one. It's absolute chaos. It doesn't work, and nobody likes them.
I think you both sound absolutely mad. You have to care about the environment.
Yeah.
You really think Rishi Sunak cares?
Excuse me.
He
I
won't.
don't. I don't have to.
I care.
I don't have
and
to.
And lots of people do care.
Yeah, but I don't.
Yeah.
But actually, and you know what?
Well, a lot of people also care about keeping the lights on.
Get a bus, use public transport. Stop being so damn lazy. And actually, the world revolves outside of London.
I don't want to. I don't care about
public
climate
transport. You have great
No, I'm not going to do it.
It's not your God-given right to have a car.
No, I'm not doing it.
It's not your
I
God-given right
don't
to have
care.
a car. It's not your God-given right to have a car.
It is.
And actually, you know what, Rishi Sunak? He's populist. All he does, he's clickbait prime minister.
Oh, do you remember when populist just meant things people liked?
Rishi Sunak.
Yes, the temerity to want to be popular.
How dare a politician do something that people are in favour of? What an absolute travesty to the society.
He's desperate to win.
Talking about desperate to win, that's the Labour Party and Keir Starmer and all this eco-lunacy.
He's not going to win anyway. And actually, you know, with you, Les,
he will.
It should.
He will.
He's not going to win at all. Rishi Sunak has gone bye-bye, Mr. Clickbait Prime Minister. You are not going to win.
What,
because actually, you know what he does? Yeah. He thinks, oh, we won that Uxbridge by 2 seats. We're going to go on this side now. That's ridiculous.
500.
Actually, oh wow, he's going to win the next general election.
Well, again, you
because
don't have
he
the
won't.
facts.
Because that's not a
just
lot.
Like live in a vague world.
Yeah.
No, you guys do.
Keep saying things, eventually they might be true.
Kevin,
but no.
you said, actually, no one cares about. Actually,
I didn't say that. I said I didn't.
No, you said it in your monologue.
I didn't.
You said the minority. And actually,
I said so many of us. Come on, Lorinda, assimilate a single fact. Do me a favour. Assimilate one fact.
No, you
tonight.
didn't go with
one
facts.
fact.
You haven't come with facts.
Well, you
haven't come with facts.
Yeah, all right,
and actually, can I just say?
But when you say I have to not drive a car, I have to care
no,
about
I said you've got no. I said
you said I have to care about the environment. I don't.
Lorinda, put it this way.
I don't.
But it's part of our legal obligations.
I don't care. I don't have to care. Nor does Pete.
Legal obligations.
Yeah, but I don't have to.
Oh, we have legal obligations. What do you want to do? Not commit to them.
We have legal obligations.
Yes, I don't want to commit to them. The pennies dropped.
But you have to. But you have to commit to them.
Because we can just repeal them. Because we can repeal the law.
What's carbon net zero?
It's the law.
What is carbon net zero?
Carbon net zero is that we have to achieve something by 2050. Look, I know.
No, what is it?
That we have to reduce our carbon emissions.
No, that's not carbon net zero, is it? Carbon net zero is the elimination of all carbon emissions.
So then what's your point? That we're never going to achieve it, so let's leave it. Is that what you're trying to say?
It's a matter of no interest to me.
So
why don't we take that energy and reinvest it in something that actually works?
For our children's future, you don't care about
if you drink the Kool-Aid and you accept that, I don't accept any of this nonsense.
Because
we need to do
Lorinda,
more.
if you really cared about air quality, where's the outrage over the fact that the London Underground has a percentage rate 30 times higher?
What about this?
Because it's about priorities. ULEZ is about priorities. The ULEZ charge is a political choice.
Of course
that is the thing.
Absolutely.
It is Sadiq Khan is choosing to make people poorer in pursuit of something that is going to make no difference.
It's just to raise money.
It is exactly. It is to fill the coffers.
Rates, cost of living, food, all of that. That's not putting poor people. You're going on about.
But why add to that?
People are struggling at home. Do you know why they're struggling at home? You know what's happened to interest rates?
Please don't tell me.
Do you know what's happened to
I'll give you any money.
Because you're going on
just to avoid another one of your explanations. I really
Actually,
will.
Kevin,
Please, I'm
look,
begging you.
no, Lorinda,
Don't
we're
tell
not-
me.
I'm not going to talk then.
We're not arguing.
I'm not going to talk.
We're
You
not
promise.
arguing.
You're not listening.
You promise. You say that now. I didn't know we're going to keep your
We're
promise.
not arguing that, there aren't other factors, but this is the point. ULEZ is an added one that makes no benefit in any real terms. The mayor's own evidence on it says it will make limited impact. It's in the
It's
report.
made some
It's
impact.
that is the original ULEZ. We're
Yeah, but
talking
I
about
don't
the
care about the.
expansion
I
of
don't
ULEZ.
care about the
Kevin,
target.
Do you know, outside of London, like I've lived in Leicester. In Leicester, outside each house, there's 3 or 4 cars. There's no need for 3 or 4 cars. People are lazy. People are damn lazy. Get on a bus,
sort of
walk. Yes,
kind of a
Newcastle.
local way of looking at it.
Yes, exactly. Newcastle, I've lived there. 2 or 3 cars outside each house. Why?
The fundamental reality is that when we look at this eco stuff, why is it always about limiting? Why is it about stagnation? Why don't we do what the government's just announced with this North Sea oil stuff? Well, it's actually going to bring 25,000 jobs. It's £10 billion of investment. Where's that
Because
coming?
it's going to kill Earth. It's going to.
But it's not, according to the Climate Commission's own report.
part
No,
of-
it's not.
Rishi Sunak soon is lining the pocket of his oil friends. That's all he's doing. Wake
What?
up. You told me to wake up. Wake up. My
His oil
goodness.
friends?
You're so blinded by your love for the Tory party.
I think it's time for a bad ad again.
I bought the fresh stick, just as you told me. You're absolutely right. It's neat and quick, and it goes on dry. It did make me feel cool and sweet, just as you said. I did everything you said, but my boss still hasn't asked me to lunch.
Unlike some deodorants, Fresh doesn't guarantee you'll get ahead in business. All Fresh does is keep you fresh.
When you think of it, that's quite a lot.
That's a bit sexist, isn't it?
I thought she was quite pretty.
Yeah, that's right.
I thought she was pretty.
That's a nice
I'm surprised
sexist.
that
That's a bit
the
sexist.
boss.
She was pretty.
I was surprised the boss hadn't asked her for lunch. I
was
mean,
gonna-
she's a catch.
Yeah, well, yeah. Was that hair or was that a hat? Did you see it?
Well, it doesn't move, does it? There's that much hairspray.
A lot of
back in the
lacquer on
day,
that.
but
A
yeah.
lot of lacquer on that.
But no, the thing with those kind of adverts, I often wonder when they were written, did the people know what they were actually saying, or do you think
You know,
there was an
people are
age
going
of
to say that
innocence?
back when they watch
Yeah.
this about you two. Like I said, do they know what they're saying? 40 years from now, history will not judge you two kindly.
40 minutes from now, in
Yeah.
my case, I don't think. Well, Lorinda Kerr, that was an extraordinary show, and thank you to Pete Barnes. And that brings to an end this edition of Big Brother Series 2, starring Lorinda. I've been Kevin O'Sullivan. You've been amazing. We'll be doing the same thing this time next week, right here on TalkTV. What just happened? What just happened?